Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot. Before we get into your reading for the weekly, let me just remind you all that I am giving away the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Deck and Guidebook set on my channel this month. Next month, it'll be another set, another tarot set, or an oracle box set. But this month, it's this one, and all you have to do to be eligible is to be subscribed on my channel, and just let me know with a comment somewhere that you're interested, all right? So, lovely Sagittarius, thank you for coming by, stopping by to this video. Something has drawn you here clearly, so I do hope that you sit back and kind of relax and just take in whatever messages you were guided here to get. We're going to pull out your romance angel messages for the week. This is a general outlook, but the angels will tell us what your deeper relationships may be like. Healing family issues. Keep an open mind. And we have playfulness. Alright, so the vulture, the camel, fire, and the tarantula. So these are your animal spirits, strong animal spirits, 2 fire and an air for you, Sagittarius. So before we get into pulling out your spreads here, let's get into your animal spirits. The vulture is an air animal spirit. It is very sort of undervalued, right? And so a lot of times the vulture, it represents experiences you might be having that are quite undervalued. The vulture is the one who cleans up all the dirty work, right? So a lot of times it could be a situation you might be dealing with where you're kind of having to deal with the more difficult sides of it, right? Could be that you're helping a friend out of a situation or a mess, and it's like, you know, you're the one who really has to do the work, the worst part of it, or the dirty work, as it were, you know, the difficult work, the difficult conversations. In any case, the vulture generally indicates an event in your life that that is very valuable, and that you are in danger of undervaluing or not getting the best out of it in terms of lesson or messages. So just pay attention right now. The camel is associated with fire, and it's one of the highest animal spirits to do with independence and self-reliance. So the camel is really associated with a high degree of resourcefulness, but self-resourcefulness, right? The camel also is one of these animal spirits that can really tolerate a lot of heat. So for some of you, you might be dealing with people that are very angry or irritable or easily upset, that are overly passionate about their viewpoint or what have you, and you're kind of really resonating or certainly calling in the spirit of the camel in the sense that you're remaining quite calm. It's also that aspect of being very self-reliant. So you don't really require anything from anyone. So you're uncompromising. You don't need to ingratiate yourself, or you don't need to deal with any energies that are upsetting, because you actually don't need anything from anyone. Sorry about that background noise. The camel can also go for really long periods of time, and if they time or I want to say distance, also in very rugged, difficult terrain, right? So this can also be symbolic of, for some of you Sagittarius who have really been on a journey, right? You've probably been on quite a journey that has been quite a long path or a long road towards your goal, and you've really had to be quite self-reliant, self-resourceful, and so you're also resonating with the camel, and that's a good thing. It can come in to remind you that, you know, you may be feeling like you're not making it towards your goal, but you are making it towards your goal. And some of you may indeed need to even call in more of that camel spirit if you're not resonating with enough of it. The tarantula is fire energy. And this is a beautiful animal spirit. It's very, very methodical, right? So the tarantula is associated with being very sort of thoughtful, present. It is associated with a crossroads in our lives, right? So when we find ourselves at a crossroads, we are, by necessity, we need to be more attentive and very, very careful with the decisions that we make. And so if you've ever seen a tarantula in the wild, you'll see that they move very, very slowly, and they seem to really think about each and every step. And so this is the energy that you're kind of being called called to resonate with for some of you right now. If you're finding it a challenge to make decisions, or if you're moving a little too quickly right now, although you know there are big changes ahead, then meditate on, the tarantula, the animal. Meditate on it and how it behaves and what we know of it, to bring in that sense of carefulness and calm into your life, because that's what your life right now, for some of you, what you're going through is calling for that energy. Just like for some of you, what you're going through right now is calling for that energy of the camel, for you to be calm, to remain self-reliant, and to keep pressing ahead. And for some of you, you're being called to bring in that energy of the vulture, which is realizing that although some situations may be ugly to deal with or difficult, they have a value. They have a big value to them. And you have to still be very present and patient, even though you might not like it, right? So let's pull out your spread for the week. Some of you are coming in with Judgment, Knight of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. Let's move it a little bit further back. And the Ace of Swords. So for some of you, this is quite interesting. You're coming in, and this is healing. Judgment talks about having had a certain amount of experiences in your life that allow you to really begin to see certain situations from other people's point of view, right? So you're not really being so hypercritical. You're not looking at things from a narrow point of view. But judgment is that energy of being able to really discern the situation from a more expanded point of view, to really get a better sense or better judgment of a situation, because you yourself have expanded. You have more experience. And so the way that you may judge or discern or criticize or make, because we all judge everything that we do and everything everyone else does. There's always a level of discernment in everything we do. Even if we're saying that we're not trying to be judgmental of others, we still discern situations and have to come to some sort of, idea within ourselves of what it is to us. But here with judgment, it's like you being much more clear about it. You're seeing a lot clearer. You're able to really come to a much more, I want to say, expansive idea of certain things. Sometimes it can also indicate a feeling of really having changed your position altogether, and maybe even wanting to go back to other situations and reconcile. Judgment can be that feeling of realizing that maybe in certain situations in your life, maybe you took a stance that now you don't have anymore. And maybe you'd like to go back and change what happened. Not so much change what happened, but fix it. Maybe, mend bridges, open lines of communication. So judgment can sometimes also be the same as reconciliation coming in. Right? And so for some of you, you're coming into this week with this energy, and you have healing family issues, so that makes a lot of sense to me that that energy is there. You're met with the Knight of Swords, so someone certainly comes into your life this week that is very much like, I'm going to say they are, very logical, but very sort of hyper about it. Knight of Swords. This is someone who just suddenly comes in. They really want to talk to you. They really want to communicate with you. They're a little bit aggressive with the way they come in, right? I think their energy might be a little bit aggressive the way they're coming in. But there's someone who wants to have a conversation with you about something. And it could just be that this is a friend, or this is someone you see out and about in the world throughout, as you go about your day. This may not necessarily be someone you know. This could be someone that you just see. It's someone that you get a certain amount of inspiration from, though, right? Because their energy is so hyper and so strong, and what they have to say is so sort of, I want to say, confident, right? They also have this ability to really sort of get to the heart of a matter. So Knight of Swords also can represent that energy of cutting away ties with things that hold you back. And so this individual or person that you see sometime this week, for some of you, I think you're going to come across this energy, and it's really inspirational to you on multiple levels. It's inspirational to you because you're going to be rounding the week off with an Ace of Swords, meaning that you yourself are going to be finding solutions now to your issues. You're going to find strength, I want to say, and clarity on certain issues, and you may even find the strength to cut away some of the ties that are holding you back in certain things. So this is a real kind of like moment of inspiration that comes in by way of this Knight of Swords energy, and it has this really strong effect on you with this Ace of Swords. I'm going to say that for some of you, if you're dealing with healing family issues, and this Knight of Swords comes in, it could just be someone who's like a motivational speaker even, right? Or it could just be someone you know. Again, it could, if it's somebody you know, it's like it might even be a family member or a friend who might have been in the same situation that you've been in, Sagittarius, with some family issues. They may have had the same issues that you're dealing with right now. And they're showing you how they were able to sort of cut away from certain things that weren't good for them and work towards other things that were, you know, because Knight of Swords is all about really maintaining a positive forward momentum. It is aggressive and it is very sort of hyper energy, but it's focused towards achieving the things that you want to achieve and maintaining a high level of self-confidence, right? So all of this is very inspirational. For some of you who maybe have been struggling in certain areas, you come up with the right ideas. So you may have, by the end of the week, you may come up with the right ideas and the right strategy that's going to help you with this family situation, right? With this reconciliation that you're really resonating with. It's going to give you this Knight of Swords energy coming in, this person, which I believe is a person for some of you. Could be an event, but I really think it's a person and the way they carry themselves. It's just going to be like a real inspiration to you to come up with some of the solutions to obstacles that may have been in the way of this family healing that you've been undertaking. Now, Justice comes in. Four of Wands. Interesting. And High Priestess. So some of you are resonating with this outlook. And the Justice card really indicates that a lot of you are dealing with, if you're resonating with this outlook, you're dealing with, of course, coming in this week with a feeling of rebalancing. But some of you may indeed be actually dealing with a court case or an official event that serves to rebalance your life. For some of you, it's just the energy of rebalancing coming in some way, shape, or form. But the Justice card is oftentimes associated, in my readings, I really do feel it coming through oftentimes a lot with actual official documents, events, etc. that are happening. So you're dealing with, in society, you're dealing with people, places, and things that have an official sort of element to them, right? They're being recorded, they're being, you know, they're being authorized, accepted as a statement of condition, etc. And a lot of times that could be a decision or a mediation process. If we're talking about a love connection or a relationship, it could even be a separation agreement or a divorce, right? Or oftentimes it doesn't necessarily indicate a marriage, though, because marriage is the coming together and the unity. This is usually an event that serves to rebalance one's life. So if you've been in a bad relationship or an unhappy relationship, then a divorce or a separation can come in to rebalance that part of your life. And so this is why Justice generally is not really that much associated with marriage, like, for instance, the Hierophant would be, where we're talking about commitment. But in any case, some of you are resonating with this energy. You're coming into the week, and Four of Wands is coming in. So this is interesting because you're dealing with something quite official, but you're also welcoming in this new, very committed love connection. And I think that almost in a way it was like this may indeed be something to do with your love life. Like I said, it could be a divorce, it could be a separation, but whatever this event, this rebalancing is that comes in for you, it really allows you to open up the door for this relationship, Four of Wands. And I think that this relationship may either be coming out of nowhere, or it could indeed be a relationship that you've had an inkling was going to go to this level at some point, but, you know, nothing really happened until now. But I do feel like this development, this Four of Wands commitment development is very, very new. However, you do round off the week with a High Priestess, Sagittarius. And it almost feels to me like, you know, with the High Priestess coming in, it's always that feeling of you knew this is how things were going to work out. So for some of you, this is going to be a really reaffirming event for you because for some of you, you already sort of had a premonition of this or a vision of this happening. You may have already been working towards this outlook happening for you. And now that it's happening, you're just getting one of these sort of real life reaffirmations of all of the secrets that the High Priestess guards, the secrets of life, which include, you know, intuition and focus and energy, and where we put our focus and where we put our attention is how we manifest. You know, the secrets of life and the secrets, you know, what we call in mysticism, the secrets that are guarded, for instance, like the High Priestess. Throughout mysticism and a lot of theories, there's always this idea of the secret knowledge, right? Or the answers that are hidden. And the thing is that it isn't so much that they're hidden, but they're hidden because they're very individual. You have to experience them on your own. And so nobody can tell you what they are. And a lot of them are really very simple concepts, right? But you can only learn them through experience. And here we're talking about, you know, that lesson of whatever it is for you, Sagittarius. It is a lesson. Or it could be here just a lesson of you know, manifesting your goals, looking at the goal you want to manifest and manifesting it in a certain through certain steps, or having certain outlooks, or whatever it is for you. It may be very individual, but you will certainly feel by the end of the week like this whole experience you've gone through is just a reaffirmation of something that you're learning that is quite pivotal to you understanding the nature of life as it pertains to you, as it matters to you. You know what I mean? All right, the Empress, 8 of Swords, and 2 of Cups. And for some of you, by the way, one of my cards just fell down. That's interesting. That was the 9 of Wands, just slid down and fell over. So I'm going to keep that here. Sometimes I don't take flyers, but this time I will. And I like this new spread. Let me know if you enjoyed this new spread, Sagittarius. Regulars on my channel, let me know if you like the way I'm doing the weeklies now, because I felt like showing all the cards instead of just layering them. I really could show a nice interconnection of all of the 3 outlooks that you Sagittarius are having, because you may be resonating with just a little bit of each also. Nevertheless, some of you are coming in. This is the final spread. Empress, 8 of Swords, and 2 of Cups, and that 9 of Wands fell out. Empress energy coming in for some of you this week. So you're coming in feeling very, very good about yourself. You have a high degree of self-confidence and self-assurance. You're taking good care of yourself, right? It's really, really a nice energy. You're feeling highly creative, some of you, if you're resonating with this. A high level of creativity. And this week, some of the events that you're coming across and experiences are, you know, you have an 8 of Swords coming in. Now, 8 of Swords energy coming in, this is really a toxic energy that can come in. It is an energy of really sort of someone who is not able to sort of see anyone else's viewpoint. This is usually someone who is really holding on to fairly sort of restricted ideas about life, about themselves. And these restricted ideas they have, which is really symbolized by the swords that are around them, these ideas that they insist on holding on to, they only serve to alienate them from the rest of the world. They only serve to constrict their movement and choices that they have in life, because their ideas are so small and so constricting and so restricting, right? This is somebody who then also very much lashes out at the world. They generally will blame everybody else for their inability to make any decisions or to make any moves or to have any success, without realizing that all of it is really just coming down to their own output, their own energy, their own outlook, and the way that they think about the world. Yet they blame the rest of the world for this. So this is very much like one of these strong toxic energies in the tarot. I call this my gaslighter. Right? This is also the person who oftentimes will play the victim. It's a strong toxic energy coming in. And it's really sort of an energy that you want to kind of, you immediately like repel from. And this is coming in for you. And some of you are dealing with this week. Nevertheless, you round off the week with a 2 of Cups. So it's quite interesting that 8 of Swords is coming in somewhere along the line. For some of you, you round the week off with a nice love connection with someone, but in the middle of the week, you're dealing with a really highly sort of toxic energy. And why this reading is coming up for you, I'm not really sure. But for some reason, it is sort of trying to let you know, hey, Sagittarius, for some of you, you're going to be dealing with this and just watch out. Now, the Nine of Wands slid out and fell out during this last spread. And I wonder if the Nine of Wands really talks about looking back on this last stage of life that you've been in, that you're still in, and beginning to see like where you have perhaps led yourself astray, or where you have perhaps held on to some ideas that are starting to now serve as alienating you from your life. You know what I mean? So maybe you've held on to some baggage for too long. This is kind of the dawning realization that, you know what, maybe I'm not progressing as far as I should be because I've been holding on to some baggage of the past. It's a beginning of an awakening. And it could very well be that you come across something like this week. You may come across someone who's very toxic this week that is part and parcel of some baggage that you may have been holding on to, Sagittarius. This may be somebody that you continue to deal with, and you may be realizing this week that dealing with this energy is kind of like your own baggage, right? It's your own toxicity that you're developing. It's a kind of a codependence almost, right? And this could be the spirit of the vulture coming in, which is doing that dirty work of saying, you know what, I realize that part of what's holding me back is the fact that I continue to deal with you. And dealing with you, somehow maybe dealing with this person serves as some kind of comfort for whatever reason. Of course, that's what makes it codependent, something that is somehow comforting, but at the same time very damaging. But in any case, you kind of wake up to it, and I think it's a wake-up call. And interestingly enough, right by the end of the week, clearing this individual out, which is why I believe it's somebody that may be an ex-Sagittarius, right away by the end of the week, it's like this decision to clear them out, the instant decision to focus on positivity, the spirit, the universe brings right away a love connection in for you that's balanced. Right? So this is, again, another experience, I think, for you, Sagittarius, this week, where some of you, just like with the High Priestess here, and even with this Ace of Swords here, it's like because of the actions you take this week, you have these great epiphanies and these great sort of almost blessings or changes or events coming into your life that really mark a turning period. Could also be spirit of the tarantula coming in, because for a lot of you, you're at a crossroads. Like this last reading, part of the crossroads is dealing with this toxic energy. And it's like you make your decision, depending on how you make your decision. Some of you wind off this week with a Two of Cups. And so it's like, yeah, you made your decision to go down whatever road because you're at a crossroads. And now things are going to be quite different. It's the same thing here with the Justice, Four of Wands, and the High Priestess, because this is a major event leading to a twin flame journey also. Very interesting. And I love this new spread because it is allowing me to go back into the previous, the three outlooks and see some of the connections for all of you Sagittarius. All right. So that's it. Remind me, don't forget, let me know the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Deck and Guidebook. If you're interested in receiving that, please just stay subscribed or become subscribed if you aren't already, and go ahead and just leave me a comment letting me know that you're interested in being in a drawing. Then March 31st, I will announce the winner by video, so you just come back and check out for the winner video or put on those notifications, and that's it. All right, Sagittarius, thank you so much for checking out my channel. I wish you nothing but the best, and I'll see you next week for your next week's weekly outlook. Bye-bye now.